have the Finance Minister in the studio today. Thank you very much for joining us, Mathias Cormann.
Thank you very much.
I wonder if you could describe what your department is going to do for Australians next year.
Now, 2017 is going to be a very good year for Australia, even though the Labour Party might say something different. But we are on a very strong program of jobs and growth. Jobs and growth, of course, are very important for all Australians, and we will be providing them with new jobs all the time. We are planning continually to improve the status of the Australian worker. And for example, now we are building a fence around Canberra, and that will be more jobs and therefore more growth. And there's another big fence going to be put around the other stadiums in the country, and that is more jobs. And we are calling for, we are increasing investment, foreign investment in Australia. And this is also very good for jobs and growth. So we are, for example, selling our dairy farms to foreign companies, and then that will give us, our workers, more jobs. And it will increase the growth because as the foreign companies take over more and more of the industry, they will create more jobs and growth for Australians. And so I can see a very bright future for the Australian workforce as they work for more and more foreign companies that we have encouraged to come in and buy Australia. So it's looking very positive, and very soon we will return to surplus, and then if we don't, then we can just sell more assets of Australia and keep our standard of living very high. Now in Canberra, we know that we understand in Canberra that there is growth. There's growth to our salaries in Canberra. We know that, and that means therefore everybody is also getting an increase in salary. Or complaining maybe then if they don't have a sufficient job, or now only casual jobs are available, then they must maybe apply and get 2 jobs. For example, for retirees and pensioners, they're all now complaining that their paychecks from Centrelink come down. Well, then the next thing is that maybe they should go for jobs. There are plenty of jobs for retirees and pensioners. They're for weeding gardens and for lollipop people. Those people are as important jobs to get the kids across the road. And it's because politicians, they work very hard and they deserve their pensions of 150 or whatever thousand a year. That's what they deserve. So if the pensioners out there, they're complaining, well, we're only getting 700 a fortnight, well, then they must go for jobs, because that is our mantra, is jobs and growth and growth and jobs. So it seems like that we will be selling more of Australia, because Australians are not too proficient at building cars anymore. So we'll encourage them to be baristas and tour guides and lollipop people and such like. And then we can sell. There's still plenty of Australia to sell. So for many decades to come, we will be in a good position with the balance sheet. So there's no immediate problem until about 2050, when most of Australia will be sold off to privatization, and that was a good thing, because always privatization brings more efficiency. And by that time we'll be paying a user pay basis. We'll be paying for cars, for travel. Every kilometer we travel, we will pay $1 or whatever the price will be. And except for the politicians, because they have to travel. Politicians have to travel, so they'll be exempt from the travel, pay-as-you-travel thing. And of course the elite can fly in the helicopters, so there's no user pay for the airspace, only for the road space. So the road space will be user pay. Then there will be electricity user pay, health user pay. Everything will be user pay, which will be very, very efficient private system that will work for Australians. All Australia will have a very wonderful private system of user pay. And then eventually, for those absorbing too much oxygen, well, they maybe they should not be using too much oxygen, because there must be an equitable basis on absorption of oxygen on the planet, and that's what we are planning to do. We are planning to have an equitable utilization program of all Australians outside Canberra, of course, because Canberra we need to be sucking in a lot of oxygen, and we need a large sewerage system in Canberra because there is a lot of excrement that is developed from Parliament there. So, but that's all I can really say. Our mantra is jobs and growth, jobs and growth, and as long as we growth, then there'll be jobs, and for many decades to come, as I said, once Australia sold off, well then, we won't be here anymore. So it's not a problem. It's only our children that will have to suffer with the foreign investment.